at 21K, and I'm being told that we're gonna play it now. Let's see it.
Finish him.
Nope, we've seen that one. I don't know. Oh, that was Goro. Oh my gosh. I don't remember having 4 arms, but I do now. Guys, we're at $21,300. There's all the pop-ups. Thank you so much. Guys, that's the end of our speed runs for this week. But we will be back on Monday. And it looks like we raised $21,000. It's amazing. Guys, you can donate all summer long by following the links in the video description or by heading over to donate.ign.com. It's now time for IGN Expo 3. Let's get the party
Всем
started
привет!
in style with the Guilty Gear trailer.
Как
Thanks
я
for
и
watching,
обещал,
folks.
я
Stick around. Bye,
удаюсь во
everyone!
все тяжкие и буду стримить все презентации, которые будут. И сегодня настала очередь третьего дня IGN Summer of Gaming. Сегодня обещают показать Guilty Gear новый и Aerospace 2 новые трейлеры. Плюс, это еще не все, конечно, будут еще какие-то трейлеры, там порядка 10-15 трейлеров у них в описании указано. Поэтому посмотрим, поговорим, выскажем впечатления, как обычно. В принципе, все по стандарту. Сейчас только я проверю, что все работает. Да, все работает. Минуту назад началась трансляция. Они немножко затянули. Спидран продлили на пару минут. Из-за того, что не успели пройти игру, они, в общем, немножко. Но это сегодня, на самом деле, еще... Summer of Gaming — это не такая интересная презентация, как была PS5, презентация PS5 вчера, конечно, разумеется, но и завтра будет PC Gaming Show. Это тоже достаточно интересно. Но помимо этого, еще завтра будет еще 2 презентации до PC Gaming Show. Но PC Gaming Show мы точно будем смотреть, а, собственно, Guilty Gear показывают новый, да. Сразу же с места в карьер. А что с FPS у вас, ребятки? Стильненько, мне нравится. Более приятный по графике Street Fighter. Guilty Gear Strive. Arc System Works. Кстати, в августе 2020-го новый трейлер нового персонажа.
Can we watch some video game trailers? I want to watch the trailers. Yeah, nobody wants to hear us talking. They want to watch video game trailers. We're irrelevant. We could be replaced by machines at any moment.
Great. Well, I'll talk then. You should be aware that you can get bonus gameplay clips and info by downloading the TikTok app, following IGN, and searching for IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag.
Ну, понятно, они рекламируют свой хэштег Summer of Gaming, в данном случае в ТикТоке. Плюс страница пожертвований в фонд борьбы с коронавирусом. Понятно, это уже третий день продолжается, нормальное явление.
Next week we're doing IGN Expo 4, but over the weekend you can catch the Guerrilla Collective and PC Gamer Show if you want to catch more gameplay and trailers. But for now, we also have some game trailers. I was promised game trailers.
Да. Ну давай, покажи нам игровые трейлеры. Он пафосно заявляет, что сейчас я обещаю, что будут трейлеры. Ну, посмотрим. Эксклюзив.
Ancient castles, exalted landmarks from a bygone age. Those who visit these age-old monuments will tell you. Wait a minute!
Что-то наркоманское. Напоминает Монти Пайтона какого-нибудь. Castle Storm. Пошаговая игрушка. Построй свое королевство. В общем, разные персонажи, от волшебницы до вампира. Трейлер стиленько сделан, кстати. Не поспоришь с этим. Даже вторая часть, значит, есть первая. Ну, будет чекнуть. Почему нет? Я сомневаюсь, что трейлер будет долго идти. Я думаю, часик это максимум, поэтому трансляция это ненадолго. Симулятор охоты какой-то очередной. Ну да. Ранч сим. Да, нет, даже симулятор ранча. Ранний доступ на ПК в 2021 году. Понятно. Альфа геймплей футаж. Everspace 2. Что мне все сломалось на секундочку. Блин, так кринжово сейчас было. Он ударился в какое-то препятствие и как будто, я не знаю, как утюг его облетел. Ну блин, на Everspace это Everspace. Выглядит стильно. Steam, PS4, Xbox One.
And if that got your attention, great news because we got our hands on some exclusive gameplay coming up right now. But if you would rather talk about tactical strategy or nailing gnarly kickflips, stick around because after that we are taking a look at Warhammer 40k, Mechanicus, and Skater XL. But right now, it's time to talk about the spaceship, so be respectful. Punch it, Brian.
Сейчас покажут какой-то эксклюзивный геймплей, а потом покажут Warhammer 40 тысяч с пошаговую стратегию.
Thanks to a successful Kickstarter campaign, and just weeks ago, Everspace 2 achieved liftoff. Space puns. Here to tell us about what's new in this open-world single-player RPG is Michael Shade. Hi, what's going on, man?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm sorry I gave you all those space puns earlier. That was just I'm embarrassed. We'll power through it. Congrats on Everspace 2. The first one was a totally kick-ass game, but it was more of a roguelike, and now you're going open world. How did this plan come together?
Yeah, that's a good question. We get that quite a lot. So the first one is more like, as you can think, like freelance.
Ну, собственно, Everspace показывают, да.
So we have this open space core mechanic, but then we mix it with a roguelike system, which is something that not everybody likes.
Будет открытый космос.
From an open world game, like if you're used to the classic open world space games, but back then we didn't have the budget, so it was our first title for Rockfish Games, and thanks to the commercial success, we were able to start with Everspace 2 as an open world RPG, which is basically what
Ну
our
да,
fans,
типа
most of our
open
fans wanted
world
from us.
RPG в
And
открытом
yeah, we
мире.
did a second Kickstarter last year, which was successful as well. So obviously we did something that people are super excited again.
Is that sort of like an interesting dynamic to the game development process? Is going through Kickstarter and relying so inherently on your fans and their feedback?
Well, I would say if you don't have a huge IP that everybody knows already, then Kickstarter is a great way to connect with your fan base and see if your vision is right, and to work with your community on certain aspects of the game and like get them early on board. But also it's good to double down on your financials, so you're a little bit more secure. You may add new features to the game or more content, and this is basically what we did.
Почему он говорит, что будет по отношению к первой части много фич добавлено во вторую?
Especially considering the fact that it was your studio's first game and it was done through Kickstarter and everything. And again, like you said, this is not like a massive, well-known IP. You're getting there, right? But this game looks even better. So how did you achieve that?
Well, the main reason is here that we now have a persistent world, which is like you can bake the lighting solution, so you can really take all the advantages of Unreal Engine 4, versus for the first title, it was procedurally generated, like with any roguelike. So you only have the real-time lighting, and that has certain limitations. But now we really can go all the way, bake super high definition lighting
Выход
solutions,
написано в Everspace 2 сентября 2020 года.
So we have a few more
Очень
artists,
много
we
игр на
also work
сентябрь,
with
там,
some
блин,
AAA
очень
outsourcing
много.
people. So we really increased also the detail to all the spaceships and the textures. And yeah, it's just with more budget, you can increase the scope, but also the quality of the game. But the biggest change is really, this is now a persistent world where we can bake the lighting solution, and you can tell how much prettier now the space environment looks like.
Yeah, I absolutely adore the look of this game. The aesthetics, right down to the design of the ships, are like really, really cool to me. And for me, like personally, that's kind of.
В общем, он говорит, что она выглядит очень стильно, что у нее крутой дизайн, и вообще, ну тут сложно не согласиться. Действительно, выглядит ярко, прикольно. Кстати, важный момент, на PC Gaming Show завтра покажут Мафию, поэтому... Ну, вообще PC Gaming Show это после PS5 конференции достаточно важное такое шоу. Хотя перед этим будет еще одна презентация Gorilla коллектив, на которой будут, ну, так называемые большие или серьезные инди-игры, да, то есть именно качественные. И между ними, между PC Game Show и Gorilla коллектив, будет еще 4-й день Summer of Gaming. Но я не помню, по-моему, на 4-м дне Summer of Gaming ничего особо интересного не будет. Трейлеров уже не будет, насколько я помню. Но тут такое, я не уверен. Об этом я сообщу завтра дополнительно где-нибудь в группе или где-нибудь у нас.
Ship itself, then you have the cockpit with financial displays and whatnot. So a lot of work goes into design of the spaceships, and this is just a huge budget if you have like a lot of ships. So this is why we came up with a modular design approach for those ships. Now, if you do this modular design approach, you have to be very careful or spend a lot of time in making sure that those spaceships doesn't look like just generic ships. So we came up with a certain set of design rules for the hull, the cockpit, the engines, the wings, which then define what kind of ship what kind of class the ship belongs to. So you can immediately tell this is like a light, a medium, or a heavy fighter.
Oh wow! So how
many ships
make you end up with then? It seems like almost like an endless combination in a way.
Yeah, theoretically you have an endless amount of configurations, but so what we did is like we said, so what is really designing the characteristic of a ship, which is basically the wings. So let's say the Sentinel that we have has forward swept wings, and that really defines the type, the class of that ship. And then you have variations for your hull, the engines.
В общем, и классы у кораблей тоже будут. Ну, собственно, как и должно быть в RPG.
More powerful versions of that Sentinel, and you also see this in the visuals. And at some point in the game, the player will be even able to customize the ship. So this is not only what kind of colors you're changing or choosing.
Ну,
You have, like, three
стандартная
different colors.
кастомизация тоже
You
будет,
will
типа там
also be able to,
цветов и
like,
так далее.
change little things on the wingtips and those kind of things.
Крылья и так
That's
далее.
awesome. I actually,
В общем,
in the middle of you explaining that, when you went through
кастомка будет.
this tunnel area, I whispered, "Wow," because I was just like, I really love how this game looks. So far, we've seen sort of above land. We've gone underground into tunnels. We've seen like straight up dogfighting in space, and this is like right here too. And this is an open world game. And so, what is it like to sort of fly from one end of this world to the other?
Он так дышит, разработчик, громко в микрофон.
How long would that take?
Well, the world itself, we have like 8 to 12 star systems, and each star system will have like several locations. So it really depends how much time you spend within these systems. And for us, we wanted to make this super easy to get around. So actually traveling from one side of the game map.
Так, сейчас я чекну, что работает все, потому что что-то как-то странно.
About like real-time space exploration. We want to have this super fast-paced combat with deep exploration of the environment, but easy to get around. So we have more detail. There's more stuff within each location that you can do. So basically, you could go like in a
То ли у меня чат не работает, то ли я не понимаю.
If you're strong enough, if you're good enough,
ладно.
because obviously you will run into enemies that make it very difficult for you to progress if you are a rookie at the very beginning of the game.
Может, у меня программа сдохла, с которой должна отображать сообщения.
Get cocky enough to veer into an area where a bunch of high-level stuff will totally kick your ass. No, I love that. So speaking of which, let's talk about the combat a little bit, because it looks really great.
Если кто-то что-то писал, а я не ответил, уж извините, у меня, видимо, сдохла программа для отображения чата. Я только сейчас понял, что она сдохла, и починил ее.
So really, action comes first. But we also have a lot of depth in the gameplay mechanics. So obviously there will be a lot different.
Надо будет заменить чат в бейсе. Блин. Так, я включаю назад.
And then you pick your skills, your devices. This could be like a teleporter, or you have the ability to like cause damage that spreads over certain enemies. And then over time you find different modes that you can tweak those devices with. So there's really a lot of versatility in how you equip your ship. So it's defined, the general capabilities are defined by the ship subclass. In total we have like 3 main classes with 3 subclasses each. So you choose your ship from like 9 different ship classes, but then you can individually change the characteristics of that spaceship by assigning different devices and
Сейчас я
even
просмотрю все чаты.
modding these devices.
Тогда.
Holy crap. So
вручную, потому что я мог что-то пропустить.
Speaking of which, when can people start to get their hands on it, and what platforms are you coming to?
So we are now rolling out the closed alpha, which was part of our Kickstarter program.
Нормально.
About 1,000 backers in June through Steam.
Я сейчас не слушаю их. Прошу прощения.
Will be December this year on Steam, and then we plan to be like for one year in Steam early access to really make sure that we're working with the community and with our fans to make sure that the game is really rock solid when it's full release, and that is scheduled for late 2021, maybe early 2022, because we will also come out on console, on PlayStation and Xbox. And we're currently talking to various publishers. Might be the case that a big publisher picks up the game on console, and then they obviously would do a retail.
На консолях она выйдет, на ПК она выйдет. Ну это очевидно, понятно, что она выйдет на консолях ПК.
Incredible news. So, if you're
мультиплатформа.
Мультиплатформа. As soon as you can, hop on their subreddit and everything. You know, give notes, give feedback. I really love that you guys are working dynamically with the community to shape this game into something. Because yeah, I'm very eager to play this, and especially once if there's a chance for it to hit consoles someday.
Нет, ну я даже поиграю.
Super cool.
Типа, блин.
Michael, thank you so much for bringing Everspace 2 onto Summer of Games. I cannot wait to play more.
time. That was really bad. Specifically Warhammer time. Now I messed up the joke. Up next, we're taking a look at Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, the tactical turn-based dungeon crawler that's coming to consoles later this year. Check it out.
Тактический dungeon crawler какой-то сейчас покажется.
After the massive success of the PC release of Mechanicus, we wanted to bring the same tactical and lore-filled gameplay to console in a way that seemed more than
Пошаговый
just a simple
тактический
port.
dungeon crawler.
In Mechanicus, you take control
Вот
of
это
the most
мне не нравится.
technologically
Не
advanced
люблю
army
пошаговые
in the
игры. Ну
Imperium,
вот
the
вообще.
Adeptus Mechanicus, set in the grim dark 41st millennium. As Magus Dominus Faustinius, you'll lead the expedition on the newly rediscovered Necron planet of Silver Tenebris. where you'll
Пошаговость
customize your
это
team,
не
manage
моё.
resources, discover long-forgotten tech, and control your tech priests' every move as you battle your Xenos enemy. We wanted to deliver these mechanics in a way that stayed true to the IP and brought Mechanicus and the world of 40,000 together seamlessly and effectively. That said, let's take a look at these features in action. A big part of Mechanicus is the large array of
Ну,
customization
понятно,
available to the player.
будут
We call this
элементы РПГ,
augmentation, and this is how you
кастомизация
level up your tech priests.
персонажей и так далее.
As your augment capacity
Ну, это
increases,
очевидно.
you can attach a variety of different weapons and upgrades. From melee weapons such as the Power Axe, to the powerful ranged weapons such as the Phosphor Blaster, to the Refractor Field Generator which shields your allies from dangerous attacks, or the Sanctus Canister that can give bonus damage to your next offensive move. Here from the bridge at the Caestus Metallicon, you can choose which mission to take. Missions are delivered to you as requests from your highest ranking crew members. New storylines will unlock.
Какой-то очень странный dungeon crawler маленько. Не совсем придерживающийся жанров, потому что но обычно в dungeon crawlerах нет выбора миссий. Обычно это просто забеги по подземельям, ну или не по подземельям, но понятно, обычно это просто забеги. А здесь прям
to the 3 alternate endings that you develop depending on your playstyle. It's really up to you. The story of Mechanicus crosses the paths of the Adeptus Mechanicus and Necrons like no other game and was written especially by Ben Counter, one of Black Library's most prestigious authors.
Не, ну выглядит стильненько, я могу это точно сказать. Прям такой неоновый какой-то стиль.
You will uncover STC fragments which you can use to upgrade your tech.
Правда, менюшка выбивается из стилей, реально, из самого стиля игры. Очень выбивается, как по мне.
Each chamber may offer great rewards, but like all good 40k narratives, there is a risk as danger may be just around the corner. That danger comes in the form of encounters. All encounters begin with a deployment stage where you tactically place your units. This could be a small area or a divided deployment, mixing up each and every combat. Each encounter will have an objective. These can be completed
У юнитов
to end the
будут
encounter
эти
or
самые
progress to the next hidden
различные
objective.
способности.
Combat takes place in a turn-based tactical system. Every unit has its own initiative, represented in the top bar. This is the order in which units will take their turns. A unit has a set movement and a selection of actions they can choose from. With Mechanicus, there are no action points.
Это же ограничения на action points. Короче, очки действий будут. Но это нормально для пошаговой игры. То есть ограничение движения на ход.
These points allow tech priests to move above and beyond by activating their most powerful weapons and abilities to allow them to move faster and more often.
Выглядит симпатично, но опять же пошаговость меня лично отпугивает. Хотя, если есть фанаты, почему нет? Фанаты именно жанра, да, то есть...
We did this partly by creating new locations, such as the inside of the Ark Mechanicus, for some of those missions where you battle heretical tech priests. Usually the art team at Bulwark Studios would study the physical models and images to painstakingly create the video game version, but with the absence of any reference for the inside of the Ark Mechanicus, we had to improvise. We worked very closely with Games Workshop to create the location while keeping it true to existing lore, and as you see, the finished article looks amazing. As well as new locations, we also created brand new, never before seen characters and bosses, some of which are available at the end of 7 special hidden missions found in the new console edition.
Обещают новых
To complete the
боссов
action, we
и
implemented a
юнитов,
range of bespoke sound and visual
как,
effects that really
типа,
make Mechanicus weapons
как я
come to
понял,
life.
эксклюзивных для
Having never
консольных
been
версий.
represented before in live action, we converted images from codexes and models into visually animated wonders. From the blast of a gamma pistol to the large eruption of energy from the torsion cannon. We again
Блин, а вот
wanted to make
в
sure
эффект сейчас
we
вот
were
этой
true
вот
to the
водоворота
existing lore.
был максимально всратый.
Along with the aesthetics, we also had to combine them with impressive sound
Максимально
effects that would
всратый, я
match
вам
up
так
with the
скажу.
visual firepower. We did this by creating specific and granular sounds for all units and weapons, giving an everlasting impact. We're really excited about Mechanicus coming to consoles because of the wealth of content that we've added to the game. The console version not only contains the base game, but also the Heretic DLC, which exposes the dark underbelly of the
Короче, они все делают упор на
like
консольные
never
версии, что типа
Brand
консольные
new
версии
narrative
будут
events, again
обладать
written by Ben
эксклюзивными
Counter, allow
каким-то
players to
контентом,
uncover what has
плюс
brought civil unrest to the Caestus
DLC.
Metallicon.
Он говорит почему-то
We'll
про
take on new
DLC
but
только на
familiar
консольных
enemies in a
версиях, то есть
cohort of heretic tech
не
priests
знаю.
that have changed their beliefs and forsaken the name of the Omnissiah. Your job will be to stop them before they corrupt you and your ship from within. But the content doesn't stop there. The special Omnissiah edition is also packed for the console version. This gives you access to the stunning Mechanicus soundtrack, the breathtaking digital artwork,
Amnesia
and a
Edition.
special melee weapon, the Arc Scourge.
Amnesia Edition.
The wait, though, is nearly over. We're excited to announce that the console version of 140,000 Mechanicus will be available to
Какого
play
числа?
on
17
July
июля.
17th.
17
Releasing
июля
on
2022.
PlayStation 4, Xbox
На
One,
PC,
and Switch,
на PS4,
you will
на
soon
Xbox
be able
One и
to take the
Switch.
fight to the Necrons and
ПК
conquer the tombs
не
of Silver
будет. Понятно,
Tenebris.
почему он по
In
консоли
the
говорил все
meantime, you
время.
can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at
Ну вот для
Mechanicus
свитча,
40K.
это
All the
нормально,
latest
кстати.
news in the build-up
Поиграть
to
где-нибудь
release.
там, я не знаю,
We
условно
hope to
в
see you
поезде,
there
в машине,
and
в
stay
самолете,
safe.
где угодно.
Oh, hey there.
В очереди
Video
в
games are a
больницу
wonderful way to
там.
experience the thrill of activities that might be
Условно.
extremely painful in real life, such as kissing, but Skater XL lets you land kickflips and grind rails to your heart's content.
Сидеть и прям залипать в пошаговый Dungeon Crawler дома на какой-нибудь плойке, ну не, наверное. А вот на свитче, где-нибудь в дороге, вообще без проблем.
Just a little bit. Could be there, might not be there at all. You'll just have to watch and find out.
IGN Summer of Gaming is brought to you by Fuser.
Ну, короче, небольшая рекламная вставочка, это нормально. О, Marvel Avengers. Ну, их, скорее всего, не покажут. Хотя, может, и покажут, но не сегодня. На сегодня там точно не было этого намечено.
IGN Summer of Gaming, only on IGN and IGN One on Samsung TV+.
Я извиняюсь, если вы слышите сейчас мотоцикл за окном. Это, вернее, мопеды. Это ночь наступила, и дети вышли на улицы на мопедах на своих.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week.
Мне немножко, на самом деле, не нравится формат Summer of Gaming. Слишком много воды. Они слишком много болтают и слишком мало показывают.
We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
Давайте уже что-нибудь показывать. Easy Day
Studios is
Studios.
the hot new skateboarding game that encourages you to chain together tons of death-defying skate tricks without having to worry about face planting in front of your friends in real life. You can go outside and do that if you want. Here to tell me more is
О,
Jeff
а
Endy
что у
from
вас со
Easy Day
стримом
Studios.
случилось,
Hey
ребятки?
guys.
Почему пиксели пошли?
Hey, Brian. So what we're looking at right now is the first look
Skater
at the
XL.
Nintendo Switch version of
Боже
Skater
мой.
XL. I've
Ну,
been very excited for
как
this one
бы
personally. I really can't wait to
графика.
play this
Они
next
говорят
week.
про
It's really cool
Switch,
to
но
see
все
it
равно.
actually running now for
Хотя
the
для
first time.
Switch'а, наверное, эта
Tell me
графика
about bringing this game
нормальная.
to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, we're super stoked as well.
На маленьком экране
We've
ты
always wanted
это не будет так
to be able
бросаться
to
в
do some
глаза.
early development. It's
Сейчас,
great to get
конечно,
platform.
да,
I mean, just the
все
idea
печально.
of being able to skate around these spots and do all that like portable on the go is just cool. So yeah, we're looking at footage.
Но видно все равно бюджетность, максимальную бюджетность.
Exactly the same content that's on the big consoles. Some little tweaks to the graphics here and there, but you know, this is the same downtown map. You're going to have the same LA school map. You can have all the pros, all the gear, and the gameplay itself. You know, since early development, the same kind of philosophy applies that
Не знаю.
the gameplay to be the top
Но я, в
priority.
принципе, не
So
фанат
making
вот
sure it's
таких вот
responsive, making sure
подобных
it
игр,
flows well and
типа
feels as
Тони
close
Хоука еще
to
поиграю,
exactly
потому что, ну,
the
это
same as
культовая
the
хрень,
big
а
console
какой-то
versions,
скейтер
and you have
XL,
the same
ну,
experience.
такое.
And then
Тем
all
более
the
на
fun
свече,
functions
тем
on
более
there
с
as
такой
well. So
графикой, как бы,
yeah,
ну,
we're
такое.
really stoked to be
На
dropping this as
свече
well.
есть игры
Awesome. I can't
поинтереснее,
wait for that.
покрасивее. Тот
Tell me the
же
sort of like core vision behind Skater XL. I know it's
Astral
obviously
Chain, я не знаю,
skate, but
Mario
why make a game like
Odyssey,
this?
Зельда, ну, понятно, это классика,
Yeah, I
да?
mean,
Всегда
for
их
us,
в пример приводят.
and I think for anyone that's into the skateboarding sort of genre, there is an ever-growing gap since the last great skate game came out. Obviously, you know, you had the THPS Tony Hawk Pro Skater series that really kicked things off and brought here and the
О,
basic
они
mechanics
лагать
of
начали.
skateboarding and sort of flowing around the area and
Зашибись.
doing tricks and stuff. Brought that to you know, video games in a big way for the first time. Starting in the late 90s, EA Skate came into things and really kind of evolved the formula and took the genre itself in one step, you know, in a new direction in
В
how they
общем,
approach things
он
and
до
what the
этого
focus
сказал, что
was.
они вдохновились Тони
And
Хоуком.
you know, that series certainly has just legions of fans, you know.
Ну, тут
The
очевидно,
whole,
да, кем они
sort of
вдохновились, я
call
думаю,
for
в
EA to
принципе.
make a Skate 4 has become a bit of a meme in gaming and almost in pop culture in general. And so, yeah, it's been 2009, I think it was when, no, sorry, 2010, I think Skate 3 came out. The last in the series. I think everyone was just expecting they would keep making more skate games and developing things.
Не знаю,
But
как по мне, это
that
выглядит
ended up
достаточно
being that,
пресно,
you
да,
know,
то есть
that
я даже не про
there's been a
графику,
10-year gap in the
которая
genre.
пластилиновая,
And
а...
yeah, that was the starting point, I think. It's been a long
Ну,
time.
Тони Хоук
And
как-то
so,
бодрее
you know,
выглядел во
the
всех
team
частях,
as it
причем, я
stands,
не
you
знаю,
know,
я не помню,
kind
какую
of
последнюю
right
часть
time
играл, но
off
явно
the
очень
back of
старую, и
bringing
даже она
games in
выглядела
the action
намного
sports sort of
бодрее,
genre,
чем вот
but
то, что
all
я
this
вижу
coming
сейчас.
from, you know, a lifetime of skateboarding, and you know, this is really the title that we've it's a dream title for us, I guess. We're kind of the right place, the right time.
Yeah, that's interesting because there's a lot of stuff in video games that makes you feel like there'll be a release of your favorite genre every year, and for a while there isn't, and it just goes away.
Ну,
So I'm happy to see you guys
не
are filling the
знаю,
void
я бы,
here.
наверное,
I
такое
think
играть
like a
не
really
стал в
great
итоге.
skating game
Я лучше
makes
подожду
you
нового Тони
want to go
Хоука.
outside and immediately start skateboarding on everything, or basically look at everything through the eyes of a skater now that you've been playing a game. But the environments that you guys have in your game are based on real world environments. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. What we have coming for the release of the game is, you know, maps that are based off real terrain and things that really, you would associate with skateboarding and what skateboarding means to a lot of people, which is,
Ну, карта,
West
кстати,
Coast,
достаточно
California,
большая, я вот
downtown
смотрю.
LA,
И
schoolyard
карта
spots.
для
These are
такой
things
игры
that,
достаточно большая.
to anyone that sort of has a connection to skateboarding or has watched a skate video over the years, like to a skateboarder's eyes, these environments are like playgrounds, and there's just so many different things in them. So we want to capture.
Правда, никаких особо интересных элементов окружения я не вижу, то есть каких-то интересных мест, где можно было бы там сделать какие-нибудь необычные трюки. Я и вообще необычных трюков я здесь не вижу, честно говоря. То есть, по сути, они делают 2-3 трюка одних и тех же, и типа, и все.
Now, is this
То есть
downtown LA
скольжение по чему-то, по перилам, допустим, флип и чё?
Yeah, because,
Если я правильно назвал этот трюк, конечно. Я в терминах не очень. Типа, и все, по сути.
This might be my closest opportunity to go, especially with no crowds or anything, is going to be very nice. What's the thing that you feel? What's the thing you feel like you have to get right? Yeah, that's right up there. There's like video game ads on those big billboards every single year. This is like really, really cool for me right now.
Не знаю, зачем они эту игру добавили в подборку. Мне кажется, она сюда не совсем должна была входить.
We have reconfigured things a little bit. This very much designed with gameplay first.
Еще и разработчик пропадает. Связь у него, видимо.
We have to make sure it's fun and not, just something that's like perfect to real life, but then it doesn't skate game with the game mechanics. So it's getting that balance of like keeping the essence and what makes the spot memorable and recognizable, but making it work with the gameplay at the same time.
And one of the things you've done here to ensure that is you removed all of the security guards who are always standing outside of the LA Convention Center. One, because they're pesky, and two, because the security guards are the known enemy of the skater.
Absolutely, and it's. I mean, this is one of the.
Кстати, момент. Я только сейчас заметил это. Я не вижу никаких машин, ни людей, неписей, ничего. Типа, это странно смотрится, очень максимально странно. Как будто, блин, я помню, когда еще была актуальна GTA San Andreas, на нее выходили различные моды, там зомби всякие такие. И в них сюжетные моды. И в них во многих вот тоже они настолько были глючные, что во многих из них тоже не было ни машин, ни прохожих, и пустынные улицы были вот такие же. Мне почему-то это напомнило прям их.
Well, I'll put it this way then. What's the thing that you felt like you absolutely had to nail, like a feeling in real life skating that you really, really wanted to make sure it was like one of the most important things to get down here?
Yeah, and this is a very, very interesting thing, I think, core to the game. That, I mean, not to get too much into the weeds of the game mechanics, and I think it's the evidence is there when people play the early access version of the game. We see the response that it's had. I think we feel like we really, have been hitting the right points and prioritizing the right things. And it really comes down to the control and the sense of expressiveness that you have.
Я не знаю, мне, блин, даже не интересно это смотреть сейчас, потому что и слушать, что они говорят, потому что, ну, камон.
We've programmed movement of the board, and through the sticks you have independent control of the feet through each stick. Moment to moment, we read those sticks at a very high rate, and that is mapped into the physics of the game at a very high rate. What you end up is something that, as you move the sticks, you feel and see immediately the response to that. And you have this thing that's like, it's much more like learning to play a musical instrument than it is unlocking some challenge designed into the control scheme itself.
Вот я вижу первое какое-то интересное место, прям. Но типа он на нем никакого трюка даже не сделал интересного.
That really resonated with us is that there's something about skateboarding. There's a reason why things get.
Слишком много времени уделили этой игре, прям очень много. Everspace был короче даже. Хотя вот про Everspace было интересно слушать.
You can be working on your ollies and kickflips forever. There are pro skaters that you look at the way they do those basic tricks and you're like, you can do even the basics, the way you execute them. So that's something that we wanted to capture, was the feeling that it's more an extension of you. It's kind of like, if you do happen to play an instrument, you sit down after 3 years and play the same song that you played 10 years in.
Причем, интересно, говорит только один чувак. Зачем они двоих позвали, если говорит только один чувак? С самого начала. Мне причем кажется, что ведущий уже хочет его это самое закруглить, но он никак не закругляется. У него он даже уже поплыл, камера поплыла. And then the way that you can skate spots and the number of things you can do as you flow around is just, really limitless. So yeah, very sandboxy style gameplay with these big environments to skate around.
I love it. I appreciate that you sort of put that in there, that it does feel more like a musical instrument. It does feel more freeform, because that means it's going to take a long time to really perfect it. And I think that that's what people are looking for right now. They want something they can really dig their teeth into. Hopefully you don't have to wait for a long time to play this game, because it's out in July and it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch and PC. Is that correct?
Да, игра выйдет на консолях текущего поколения и на ПК. Текущего поколения Свитча и ПК, потому что Switch он как бы не текущего поколения, он как бы следующего.
It's a little bit of mixed sort of feelings, I guess, about Olympics and how competitive skateboarding fits into street skating and all that. But in general, I mean, skateboarding's coming back, and our goal has been to bring it to as many people as possible. And so from the outset, making sure that we could bring it to the Switch, which has just come out the gate so strong.
Чувак просто незатыкаемый. Там ведущий уже это самое подвел к тому, что типа говорите дату релиза и все пока. Ну, он так не сказал, но все подводит к этому, а этот все болтает и болтает.
That's Skater XL. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Did you know that you can get bonus Summer of Gaming content by downloading the TikTok app, following IGN, and searching our Summer of Gaming hashtag? Oh.
Мне кажется, это предзаписанное видео, вот это вот конкретно в перебивках с ведущей и вот этим чуваком. Потому что качество слишком стабильное и слишком хорошее.
Help make the world a better place. It's wonderful. Somebody just donated. I can feel it. And that's great. You're great. You specifically out there, whoever it was who donated. And as a way of saying thank you to everyone who's donating and watching, here are some fun trailers as a special treat. Enjoy.
Ну, наконец-то трейлеры показывать опять будут. Я что-то даже устал. Блин, слушай, когда болтает про скейтера своего. Ух ты. Детективчик какой-то. Судя по всему, да. Ай, блин, изометрия. Как я не люблю изометрию. В общем, осмотр тела, я так понимаю, можно будет проводить. Разоблачи их ложь. Короче... Ну, скорее всего, прям детектив такой, именно с присущими жанру этими геймплейными моментами, то есть там допросы, исследования там и так далее. Выход в 2020 году. Еще один трейлер. Атлус. Ваниловая. 13 Sentinels. Кстати, да. Я видел это в... Ой, скажите, что это слэшер какой-то японский. Пожалуйста, скажите, что это слэшер. Нет, к сожалению, нет. Ну, может быть, что-то даже прикольное все равно. Такие игры обычно направлены на историю чисто. А тут я вижу огромных роботов, школьниц, и это прям аниме, короче. Я надеюсь, будет хотя бы английские субтитры у нее. Ну тут как бы есть, да, но ну если показывают на IGN Expo, значит, скорее всего, будет английский язык в ней. Ну, по крайней мере, текст. Ну а если будет английский, значит, вскоре будет и русский, как минимум фанатскими силами. Вскоре после выхода. Не, ну это виш-лист. Я хочу попробовать поиграть в такое. Я не знаю, почему это вообще не похоже на нее, на эту игру, но мне почему-то сейчас в голове вспомнился этот To the Moon каким-то образом. Не знаю почему. А, 9 августа, короче. Вот нормально пошел трейлер за трейлером. Sega. Вау. Что это может быть? Что-то с мехами. Блин, прикольно тоже. Мехи прикольно. Мехи я люблю. Пафосная музыка, мехи, огромный корабль. Мне уже нравится. Японская музыка на фоне. Идеально. Только показали вы еще геймплей, а не просто синематик. Ну еще бы мехами, блин, драться против самолетов обычных, как бы, ну такое. Не совсем честно, я так скажу. Причем, судя по всему, это самолеты примерно времен Второй мировой. Не, ну мне нравится. Вот такое я поиграю. Наверное. После того, как увижу геймплей. Fantasy Star Online. А, слушайте, я не слышал, да, что ее покажут. На Xbox One, PC... Короче, я не успел увидеть, когда она выйдет. Сейчас опять будут рассказывать о кучу времени какой-нибудь игры. Надеюсь, хотя бы об этой. Ну, сейчас сначала реклама, вернее, будет. Блок рекламный.
Tired of watching IGN on those tiny cell phones and tablets? Well, IGN is moving to your living rooms. Starting in June, tune into IGN 1 on your Samsung TV Plus to see all that IGN has to offer, beginning with our exclusive Summer of Gaming event. You'll get first looks at world premiere game trailers, exclusive game demos, and next-gen console coverage that you won't find on any other network, only on IGN 1.
Меня бесит немножко, что реклама одна и та же все время. Типа, блин, могли бы придумать хотя бы 2-3 разных блока, чтобы не так скучно было ее смотреть.
Services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on mixer.com/IGN, youtube.com/IGN, and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
Блин, Marvel интересно, когда покажут следующий трейлер, потому что я хочу увидеть больше геймплея Marvel Avengers.
Our month-long event features our first-ever series of IGN Expos, where you'll get first looks at world premiere game trailers, exclusive game demos, and interviews you won't find anywhere else. IGN's Summer of Gaming, only on IGN and IGN 1 on Samsung TV Plus.
Давайте уже что-нибудь существенное. Что-нибудь существенное, а не рекламу, пожалуйста.
Welcome back to IGN Summer of Gaming. Hey, you know what's more fun than a wooden horse full of sweaty dudes with swords? Total War Troy! Let's toss a Damon for a closer look.
Total War новый покажут сейчас. Вот это интересно уже.
I'm Damon Hatfield, and it's time to talk about Total War Troy. I'm joined by senior game designer Milcho Vasilev.
Не расскажут о нем. Ну, я думаю, геймплей покажут какой-то на фоне.
So, tell us about Total War Troy. This, the latest entry is going to be focusing on the Trojan War. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's going to be focusing on the age that was around the Trojan War and the Trojan War in particular.
And this is the first
Ну,
time.
короче, да, игра будет сфокусирована внезапно на Трое. Ну,
Yeah, it's not only that
кто сомневался в этом, как бы, да?
Any Total War game is set in this era, but it's actually the first time that we go so much back in time, all the way to the Bronze Age.
So what are the two sides that are at war here? I mean, obviously, we know, but sort of set it up for the version that you're going to be showing us.
Well, the game is inspired by Homer's epic, the Iliad and the Odyssey. So the two main sides that are going to be on the Trojan War are, of course, on one hand, the Trojans, and on the other hand, the Greeks, or the Achaeans, as they were called at the time. And the game starts with this whole conflict.
Графика для RTS-ки прям хороша. То есть юниты проработаны неплохо, очень весьма себе. Ну, насколько я могу видеть. Глобальная карта есть, но опять же, это неудивительно для Total War.
Is Total War Troy going to feel familiar to fans of the Total War franchise?
Yes, it's going to feel familiar in the way that we're keeping the main formula of the game that has always been.
Короче, игра останется верна серии, и они сохранят основную формулу Total War, поэтому если фанатам, короче, не придется плеваться.
since this is the Bronze Age, and at the time they didn't really use a lot of
Бронзовая
money to
эра,
trade or
и
gold or coins or anything of the
будет
sort.
несколько
What they usually used was goods like people
ресурсов
would trade
для обмена. Ну,
wood
короче, в общем,
for
несколько валют.
food and other stuff.
И много
So what we
ресурсов
did
именно типа
is
еды там и так
instead of
далее.
having just one resource with
Дерево,
which you
вот
can
там,
use
камень
to
и так далее.
buy anything in the game, in the economy of the game, there are multiple resources, each of which is used for different kinds of stuff. Like the food will be used to support your armies, where wood and stone will be used to construct new buildings and upgrade your settlements. Whereas
В
gold would be,
общем, он
you
говорит,
still
что
have
все
gold,
эти
but gold is a very
ресурсы
special type
очень
of
важны
resource,
будут.
which
Типа
is
еда
used
нужна
only
будет, чтобы
for
поддерживать
select few
армию,
things in it.
дерево, чтобы
One of
там
the
строить новые
things being
постройки и так далее. Ну,
with the
очевидно, да?
other new system
Внезапно.
that we have with
Новость,
the
блин.
divine wheel system, which is our representation of the gods at the time. Because as you probably know, the people at the time in the Bronze Age were very, very religious. For them, the gods were not just something that
В общем,
they,
будет
some
еще
of them
какая-то, я не
believed
до конца
in,
понял, но будет
or
какая-то
something
механика,
that
связанная с
they
богами, верой и вот
they
этим всем.
thought that the gods walk among them, and they also sought the favor of the gods in one way or another. And we have also represented that into Total War Troy, where you, as the player, choosing your nation, can choose a god and or maybe more than one, and try to gain his or her favor, and that will lead you to certain types of benefits inside the game, like in the battle or in the campaign even. Depends.
So speaking of that campaign, as we play through, are we going to get to play both sides of this conflict?
Извиняюсь, это ударил микрофон случайно.
Yes, you're going to be able to choose from 8 different factions, each one being on one of the sides, either the side of the Greeks or the side of the Trojans. But since this is a total war game, you can do something radical and try to change your allegiance or want to play it your way, or just see what would happen if Achilles would actually ally with Hector instead of
В общем, он
fight
говорит,
him to the
что
death.
можно будет играть
So, yeah, you can also
различными
do that in the
путями,
game.
то есть способами, вот. Не знал, как сказать правильно.
Well, there are a lot of heroes that are in the Iliad and the Odyssey, and it was a really hard time for us choosing which
Опять же,
ones we
герои
wanted
будут,
to
то
make
есть
the epic
более
heroes the
уникальные
center
юниты.
of the Total War saga Troy. Obviously, some of them are no-brainers, so to say, because you can't have the Trojan War without having Achilles, without having Hector, without having Menelaus, who was wronged, and the whole war started because of Paris, who is also into the game. And so we've tried to pick the ones that were most, how should I put it, most influential to the war and most important to it, as well as offer the greatest variety of different gameplay mechanics to them, because we wanted to
В
make
общем,
sure
добавит большее количество механик, разумеется. Ну, это стандартная, короче, стандартная сказка, грубо говоря.
Experience it in a different way, with different campaign mechanics that are unique for the hero, different battle abilities, battle units, and so on.
Много будет различных билдов для сборки армии своей, много юнитов и так далее, короче.
What we are doing is one of our main design pillars is to show what is the truth behind the myth in this age that's so long past, and what we know that every myth and every legend is probably embedded in some sort of event or something that really happened. So we try to unravel the mysteries of time and see what could actually have inspired stuff like that. And one of the ways we do that is like with the epic mythic units that you can recruit in your armies. Like one of the units, you probably saw in our footage, is the Minotaur, who is not like a real Minotaur, who is half bull, half human,
В общем,
but is this huge
они
bull of a man
для
with
игры
a
адаптировали
large
некоторые мифы
bull skull on
из
top of
той
his head
эпохи.
to scare off enemies wielding a
И
large
типа, ну,
two-handed axe.
в игре не будут,
But
но
he's
типа
probably
адаптированы
some
под
bandit lord who is trying to
реальную как
incorporate
бы
the
жизнь.
needs of old
Вот так,
and
больше,
say,
более
and sow
реалистичный.
fear into the
Тот же
eyes of his
Минотавр
enemies
там
by
будет,
his
но это
visual
будет
appearance.
не мистическое
But yes,
существо,
he
а
is a
человек
unique type
там
of
как,
unit
с
that
какой-то то ли
you
головой,
see in the game, as well
то ли
as
черепом,
others.
чего-то я не
I
понял.
believe you also saw the centaur, who are believed to be half human, half horse. Whereas in truth, what believe it, the thing that inspired that would be that some people from some tribe maybe were so attuned with their horses and were so used to riding them and even fighting from their back, which was something that didn't really happen in that era, that some people would say and believe that they're one with their horse. And so that's how we have represented the centaur, for example, in Total War Troy.
That's a really cool way to sort of represent the myths of the time. Tell us about how the divine wills work.
Well, as I said previously, the player has an access to a special use system, which is the divine will system, which represents the pantheon of
По
the
кругу
Greek gods.
крутить, что ли,
And in the
начали
Trojan War,
трейлер.
the gods actually, according to Homer, took active part in the war itself. Some being on the side of the Trojans, others
Походу,
being
да.
on the side of the Achaeans. And here, this is also the case. Whereas when doing certain stuff in
Да,
the
они по
game,
кругу начали
depending on
крутить трейлер.
what god you want to appease, you may gain their favor, or you may use special types of agents or other actions that to gain the favor of the gods that you choose to be aligned with. And depending on which gods you choose, you're going to get
Ты
different
понял,
types of
глобальная
benefits
карта это не
into the game.
единственная большая
Like,
карта
for
в игре, потому
example,
что
appealing Ares
помимо
as
глобальной
the
карты,
god of
которая
war
сделана именно
will,
как
of course, make your
просто
troops
как
much
какая-то
better in
контурная
battle.
карта со значками,
Though
то
appeasing
здесь еще
Apollo,
была вот
who
эта
is
вот,
also
где
believed, apart
именно
from being the god of
юниты
poetry
изображены.
and music, is also the god of the archer's favorite. So appeasing him would make your
И,
archers be
кстати,
more accurate,
именно поле
fire
битвы
faster inside
достаточно
battles.
большое, я вот
So
смотрю.
even though the gods don't
Реально
appear
большое.
as entities inside the battles, the very fact that the people waging those wars believed that the gods were staying behind them makes them perform better into the battles.
Well, Total War Troy is looking very cool. What's the release plan? Is it still on track to be released this year?
We will be announcing a release date really soon. So yeah, stay tuned for
Очень
that.
скоро покажут,
Okay, we definitely will. Nick, so thank you so
доскажут
much for
дату
joining me
релиза.
today.
Типа следите за новостями. Check out this game.
Welcome to Check Out
Thomas
This Game
Mark,
on IGN's
Thomas
Summer of
Markson.
Gaming, highlighting exciting under-the-radar games worth your attention. This time we've got an exclusive look at Unto the End, a side-scrolling action platformer about a father fighting to try to get back to his family, with combat that focuses on reading your opponent's actions. Here's some exclusive new gameplay.
Эксклюзивный новый геймплей покажут. Чего-то. А, это вот та игра вчерашняя про викинга, которая достаточно кровавая. С расчлененкой. Ну и действительно, геймплей новый, такого не видел я. Вчера был другой кусок. Какие-то тоники. То есть, ну, я так понимаю, лечилка это была. Не, вот это вот интересная игра, я ее даже поиграю, реально. Я еще вчера сказал. Неплохо, весьма неплохо. Как он его увидел-то, блин, вообще? Или знал, что он там? Прикольно, можно с двумя сразу сражаться. И, кстати, анимации тоже достаточно... Они вроде как отрывистые такие, но при этом... типа на канале IGN можно увидеть полную расширенную версию этого геймплея.
You just saw Unto the End with Tom Marks. Be sure to keep your donations to the Bail Project and the World Health Organization coming. And don't forget to follow IGN on TikTok and search for IGN's Summer of Gaming hashtag. And also, are you registered to vote? Are you remembering to recycle? Do the pets have enough water? It's very hot during the summertime. Anyway, later on, special editions of news, games, and more, and my dumb show Up at Noon are coming up. But up next, Blue Fire is a gorgeous new 3D platformer that turns players loose in a desolate kingdom filled with mysterious perils and danger around every turn. Behold!
Короче...
Sometimes the most challenging opponent isn't some menacing enemy with a huge
О,
sword,
блин.
but a line of tiny platforms over a bottomless
Это
pit.
прикольненько что-то.
Action-adventure game Blue Fire seems to promise
Мне это напомнило старенькую игру про ниндзю. Как она? I'm Ninja, или как она называлась там? Там тоже такой маленький головастенький ниндзя бегал, и очень похоже чем-то было. Это практически всем, кроме визуального стиля. Что я сказал какую-то фигню.
Like wall running to correct a near fatal mistake. Umbra's dash mechanic was equally enticing. Holding down the button gave me a lengthy boost.
Визуальный стиль там был немножко другой, но она такая же была мультяшная, и типа...
Blue Fire's reference to other action platformers like Hollow Knight may be laying on a bit thick at certain areas, but the way it handles its
это Metroidvania будет, как я понимаю.
appears to do an admirable job at trying to set itself apart. One particularly prominent feature
Metroidvania с элементами RPG. Не, ну это нормально, что Metroidvania с элементами RPG, как бы они... Я не помню ни одной Metroidvania, которая бы была без элементов RPG.
Failing a jump was punishing, but fair, and I was able to follow collectible breadcrumbs and other interesting loot before completing the area.
Блин, визуал прикольный. Мне нравится визуально, как она выглядит. Такая серая, но при этом... Вот серая, но при этом яркая. Это вот очень странное сочетание, но оно работает. На контрасте, скорее всего, работает. Вот все, допустим, серое, а мечи вот у врагов прям яркий красный, и смотрится очень круто и стильно. Боссы? Я так понимаю, да, это босс. Блин, это прикольно, мне нравится. Очень стильно выглядит. В основном нравится только потому, что она очень сильно выглядит, да. То есть... Боссы прикольные тоже, кстати, очень прикольные именно по дизайну. Покажут Hollow Knight Silk Song геймплей. Что? Мне не показалось?
Hey, look who's here. It's us again. Anyway, don't forget, all summer of gaming long, IGN is asking you to give to the World Health Organization and Bail Project to combat COVID-19 and reunite separated families, respectively. You can find out more or give at donate.ign.com or by following the links in the video description. And if you download the TikTok app, follow IGN and search for IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag, you can upload your own gameplay moments and find tons of bonus Summer of Gaming goodness, as well as lots and lots of videos of people dancing and doing lip syncing and all sorts of nonsense.
All sorts of various treasures. But up next, grueling manual labor is difficult under normal circumstances. But can you imagine how much worse it is in the unforgiving void of space? I can. I've been to space. I've been to the moon to fight aliens. And if you see me, you can ask me all about it on my new show. Just kidding. Well, if you can't, here's a game that might give you a better idea. It's called Heartspace Shipbreaker, and it's up next. And it sounded like a curse, but it wasn't.
Что-то про космос скоро покажут опять. Exclusive.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Heartspace Shipbreaker.
Hard Space Shipbreaker.
Here to show you our next ship class, the Gecko. Now, Geckos are much larger ships.
Разбойщик кораблей? Или мне показалось? Ну, то есть, или я неправильно перевел.
With minimal crew and a large cargo space in the middle here. Today we're going to be completing a work order, salvaging some large chunks of the ship, and showing you how the three main elemental systems in the game are interconnected. That's electricity, fuel, and coolant.
Или наоборот, строитель кораблей.
But first, we've got to get inside. Now we're going to intentionally keep this room pressurized, so we're not draining our oxygen tank.
Ну, сейчас узнаем в любом случае.
Okay, looks like we've got a small coolant leak down here, causing some damage.
Это типа... Наоборот, это типа ремонт кораблей, как понимаю, да, будет? Окей.
Which is coming from this room right here. And in this room, we've got the power generator that sends power throughout the ship. We'll come back to this in a bit.
Разные типа сканеры, позволяющие увидеть внутренности корабля, ну, устройства, механизмы и так далее.
So we should keep that coolant line connected to the reactor for as long as we can. So we're getting a reading that this room is unpressurized, meaning it doesn't have any oxygen in it. When a room is unpressurized, you're less likely to accidentally cause a decompression event with one of your cuts.
Декомпрессия. Прикольно, кстати, сделано. Не, мне нравится, слушайте.
So now we're using our own O2 to explore this area. All right, looks like the cockpit and crew quarters are empty. Let's see what else we've got going on.
Почти все элементы интерактивны.
It's time to take a look at the reactor. Now the reactor is basically the heart of every ship. It's the most valuable piece of salvage, but it's also the most dangerous. Because once you remove it from its coolant casing, it begins to melt down. And you never know
Взорвался реактор. Типа реактор, говорит он, типа самое опасное место на всех кораблях.
These are the ship's thrusters. They're connected to the reactor by these fuel pipes right here. And these pipes are filled with fuel, so we should try to find a way to flush them before making any cuts. The work order is asking us to salvage some antenna, so we're going to snag them with the grapple tool right here and then deposit them on the barge. Now our grapple tool here has been
Короче, да, это симулятор разборщика кораблей.
and push both light and
Походу.
heavy objects pretty quickly. Now that some of the easier parts of the work order are done, we can focus on the more challenging objectives. The ECU
Это виш-лист сразу.
which makes things a bit more complicated. Because if we remove the power, we won't be able to depressurize the room anymore. Guess it's just a risk we're gonna have to take.
Была бы она интересно будет вообще на русском языке, ну, на текст.
To do that, we need to remove the breakers. But that's easier said than
Надеюсь,
done.
что да.
You only have a brief moment between power pulses to pull that breaker. Miss that window, and you'll get shocked, or worse.
Electrical damage.
The number of breakers and their locations vary from ship to ship. Now the power generator should be safe to remove. If we decided to remove it before pulling the breakers, bad things would have happened. This power generator is extremely heavy, and we really don't have the space to take it out. So we're gonna have to make an opening somewhere. Let's see if we can remove this front section of the ship. We're gonna use the structure filter on our scanner to look for cut points. These yellow structural points are the glue that holds the ship together.
Резак есть. Это прикольно. Блин, прикольно, очень круто.
accidentally sliced a heat sink there. Now some of the walls and pipes were flash frozen and are now damaged and brittle. Now we're going to tether the section of the ship that we just freed up by removing the cut points and peel it like an onion to get the power generator inside. The strength of tethers stack, so the more you use,
Почему он отрезал кусок кабины, чтобы попасть внутрь? Не попасть внутрь, а чтобы генератор энергии вытащить.
The final objective in the work order is to salvage the reactor. Let's see if we can flush these fuel lines to the thrusters beforehand, so we don't risk a massive explosion once we...
Блин, вот это вот одна из самых крутых игр за последние 3 дня, которые показали.
Here is a utility key, which we normally would
Именно за счет своей идеи.
But because we salvaged the power generator earlier, the fuel terminal is no longer functioning. Well, looks like we're gonna have to flush these fuel lines by hand. Sometimes this can cause a fuel rupture, causing flames to burst from the pipes. But it looks like we got lucky this run.
Ну, опять он взрыв устроил.
If you're ever in a pinch, you can touch a pipe with your hand and hear the flow of fuel inside it. It's a great way to tell if the pipe is safe to cut.
Прикоснувшись рукой, можно узнать, есть ли топливо внутри, проверить. И топлива нет, можно разрезать, значит, безопасно.
Which give you access to new tools and upgrades, as well as pay for your oxygen and tether supply. Salvaging high-value components like thrusters is always a good idea. The next step we need to make is to cut the reactor free. Now this is a bit of a complicated step because there are active elemental pipes nearby. We want to make as big of an opening as possible because the reactor becomes unstable as soon as you remove it from its coolant casing. It's best to move everything you can out of the way.
Блин, аж очень залипательно на самом деле.
Looks like this reactor's been damaged, likely because of the coolant explosion we had earlier. This means we don't have a lot of time once we begin the extraction.
Что он сделал? А, закрепил типа корабль.
Well, here goes nothing. Thanks for watching this little playthrough.
Да, прикольно, очень прикольно. июня. Блин, уже через пару дней. Очень круто. Горилла коллектив и Сигими Шоу завтра. С 13 по 15. IGN Expo день 4, только 15 числа.
We'll be tapping out until Monday, but IGN will be streaming the Guerrilla Collective digital event and PC Gamer show over the weekend. And on Monday, we'll be back in full force with Expo number 4. That's Quattro, which is our biggest day so far, following that up with several hours of
Next NG+. Я думаю, на этом они закончили трейлеры, но сейчас я проверю. Если закончили с трейлерами, значит я отключаюсь, и до завтра мы с вами прощаемся. Завтра на Горилла коллектив, первое включение, а потом на PC Gaming Show.
And the Bail Project. And if you didn't yet, it's not too late. Either check the links in the video description or head on over to donate.ign.com.
And while we're asking you to do stuff, why not download the TikTok app and follow IGN? You can search IGN Summer of Gaming hashtag for bonus content or to upload your own gameplay clips.
That about wraps things up for IGN Summer of Gaming Expo, so whether you genuinely enjoy our content or you're just here to argue with strangers in the chat, stick around! News, games, and more is up next. IGN Summer of Gaming is brought to you by Fuser, who'll be partying with us.
Смотрим сейчас, что после рекламы будет. И... новая вставка. Ничего себе. Я аж удивлен.
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game.
Нет, это выгоднее, не все любят смотреть спидраны.
Of the developers while they watch their games getting completely wrecked. That's exactly what happens in every episode of Game Devs React to speedruns.
You can do that. Oh my god!
We invite you to ride along with the developers as they react to, question, and enjoy some of the most skilled players exploiting and speeding through a game it took years of their life to create. Join us every Saturday for a new episode.
Hey there! Do you have opinions on games, movies, TV, or other weird stuff on the internet? You can take part in our new show, Power Ranking, where you can vote on all your favorite things on the internet.
Учитывая, что пошла новая реклама, я думаю, они закончили с трейлерами.
News, games, and more is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent, going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Да, все, они закончили с трейлерами. Они сейчас будут новости просто говорить, поэтому я на этом заканчиваю тоже. Всем спасибо, кто смотрел. Я до завтра еще починю. До завтра я починю еще чат. Я попробую починить чат. Потому что сегодня я первые полчаса вообще не знал, что он сломался. Завтра мы стримим в начале, где-то в 5 часов, Sea of Thieves игру. Потом начинаются Gorilla коллектив и PC Gaming Show. Но это уже ближе к вечеру. PC Gaming Show в 9 часов, если я не помню, если я помню верно. А Gorilla коллектив, собственно, в 19, по-моему, часов. Но с этим я еще как бы... Ну, я разберусь, я посмотрю, когда точно это будет идти. Так что всем еще раз пока. Я, наверное, все.